Hey guys, Crunchboxing here. Now we have learned over the past few days that Billy Joe Saunders has failed a drugs test for his upcoming bout with Demetrius Andrade. The substance he has been using is apparently worse than clenbuterol, which is rich because he gave Canelo a lot of stick for failing a drugs test using clenbuterol, and now he himself has failed a drugs test. It is such a shame because he is a very skilled boxer and he could be tarnished with this for years to come. And I feel really bad about this because I was a big fan of Billy Joe Saunders and I respected him as a fighter and a person very much. But this news dropping, I'd love for there to be some sort of excuse, some reason, or that he didn't know he was using it. But the evidence indicates that he did, and it's kind of hard to get him out of this sticky situation now, which is a great shame. I'd love for there to be something, but I don't think there is. And there are always fors and against when someone fails a drugs test. No one is going to admit to it. Everyone is going to say they didn't take it. Whether they did or they didn't, they're going to say, no, I didn't take it. Because why would you admit to something like that? The fors and against we have, he has been in better shape outside of camp recently. His boxing style does rely on speed and endurance and movement, which this drug that he has been taking does promote. But this is a drug that, judging by WADA rules, is allowed to be used outside of competition, but not in competition. So he could have been using this outside of competition to cut weight and get into fight shape quicker than most people can. And the fact that he doesn't fight regularly, so it would make competition easier to keep under wraps. The fact that he doesn't fight regularly, so it would make consumption easier to keep under wraps in the WADA testing program. Now, the drug is called oxyloferin. I think it's oxyloferin. And it does open up the airwaves and enhance energy, speed, and recovery, and respiration. Now, what can he do here? He needs to try and be as diplomatic as possible, and maybe that's not his character style. He could pull out of the fight, but I believe he's probably too proud to do that. Compensate other fighter, which is quite unlikely, or postpone, which is probably the most likely. But, I think the fight will go ahead, to be honest. And we still don't really know what the punishment is going to be. We hear the fight is still going to go ahead. Could he be stripped? Doubtful. Disqualification from competitions? Doubtful. Hefty fine? Possibly. I think the biggest fine he's going to pay is the public backlash. Especially, it's going to be unbearable after his comments about Canelo, about what he said about him taking performance-enhancing drugs and that he should be banned for life. And now he's been caught, so the public backlash is going to be a hefty fine for him to pay. Guys, once again, I am so disappointed. I want it to not be true because he's a great fighter and arguably he doesn't really need to be taking something like this. I can't believe after his comments about Canelo on cheat and on other cheats as well. You can't really throw stones if you live in a glass house, can you? Can we trust him now? Anything he said in the past and his wins, his great wins over Willie Monroe and David Lemieux will be tarnished by this. Oh, he was just taking this drug out of competition and not being tested for it. So, this is a drug that can benefit you for months after, I'm hearing. So, if he was taking that out of competition, that could have been benefiting him in those fights. So, it just makes his wins look less impressive due to the fact that he could have been taking performance-enhancing drugs. And what's it going to say for him in the future? His future fights, everyone's just going to believe that he is taking drugs or has taken drugs. So, people are going to avoid him because he's avoided anyway. He has a awkward style. Not many people want to fight him because he'll move and outbox you. And now that he's been taking or allegedly taking drugs, no one's going to want to fight him now. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please also like, share, and subscribe to the channel Crunch Boxing and Sport.